rise, break all barriers. Dream will shine, voices grow strong. The time for change won't take too long. With speed and strength, we light the way. Accelerate action, no more delay. Yes, accelerate action. Increase momentum, decimate meaningless barriers both on personal and professional spheres, as we women need no inhibitions in achieving our life goals. With these thoughts, I, Tanya Singh, on behalf of HBNI, wishes a very good afternoon to the guests of honor, esteemed dignitaries, HBNI students, faculty and staffs. So you have got the gist. Just like every year, we have gathered here to celebrate the beings who share, inhabit and rule the half of planet Earth alongside men. That is, we are here to commemorate International Women's Day. We have come a long way, fostering deep gratitude for the women who nurtured us as mothers, inspired us as sisters and friends, stood by us as our companions and shaped our world as colleagues. While we celebrate their achievements and champion gender equality, true progress demands faster action. It's time to accelerate efforts for equal participation in social, economic, cultural and political spheres worldwide. With these remarks, let us commence with today's event. I now invite our esteemed dignitaries to the dais. Our distinguished guest speakers, Advocate Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan Santhi and Professor Aparajita Chattopadhyay of IITS. Our Honorable Chairman of HBNI Women's Cell, Professor Aradhana Srivastava. Our esteemed Dean of HBNI, Professor A.K. Tyagi. Associate Dean HBNI and Officiating Registrar, Professor Naveen Kumar. Professor Dipanvita Datta, Associate Dean HBNI and esteemed member of HBNI Women's Cell. HBNI would like to show its respect to the revered dignitaries by felicitating them with a welcoming bouquet. I request Professor Madhumita Goswami to extend our welcome to distinguished guest speaker, Advocate Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan Santhi. I now request Dr. Archana Agrawal to extend our welcome to distinguished guest speaker, Professor Aparajita Chattopadhyay. I now request Professor Dipanvita Datta to present small token of appreciation to our esteemed Chairman of HBNI Women's Cell, Professor Aradhana Srivastava. I request Mrs. Gomti to present the bouquet as a sign of our reception to Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean HBNI. I now request Mrs. Veena Dubre to present the bouquet as sign of our reception to Professor Naveen Kumar, Officiating Registrar and Associate Dean HBNI. It is my sincere request to Ms. Kiranjeet to felicitate Dr. Shobha Nair, Head Psychiatric Unit, BRC, with a bouquet as a symbol of our hospitality. I now request Professor Madhumita to felicitate Professor Uma Shankari, OS and former Head RPDD in the BRC, with a bouquet as a symbol of our reception. I now invite all our dignitaries on the dais to join us for the auspicious lighting lightning of the lamp, symbolizing the triumph of knowledge over ignorance, thus paving a path towards empowerment and excellence. Please, everyone. Without any further ado, let us proceed with today's program. I request Professor Dipanvita Datta, Associate Dean HBNI, to grace us with the welcome address. Please, ma'am.
सभी देवताओं से उत्पन्न हुआ और तीनों लोकों में व्याप्त वह अतुल्य तेज जब एकत्रित हुआ तब वह नारी बना. The incomparable radiance that was born from all gods and pervaded the three worlds came to one place and took the form of Lord. Namaskar, good afternoon everyone. Respected dignitaries on the dais, today's chief guest, Advocate Ms. Sandhya, Professor Aparajita from IITS, Chairperson HBNI, Women's Day Professor Aradhana Srivastava, Outstanding Scientist, NPT BRC, Respected Dean HBNI, Professor A.K. Tyagi, Officiating Registrar and Associate Dean HBNI, of the dais, respected today's speakers of Dr. Shobha Nair, H. Sankhya, Department, BRC, and Professor Uma Shankari, former head, IPDD BRC, members of HBNI Women's Day, Srimati Swati Ingole, NGO Shield Foundation, all associate deans and assistant deans of HBNI, former dean HBNI Professor P.D. Nayak, other officials and staff of HBNI and HRDD, lead academics of HBNI and HBNI faculties, students offline and online, ladies and gentlemen. It is my absolute pleasure, honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this special gathering as we celebrate International Women's Day 2025. Today is a day of reflection, appreciation and action, a day when we recognize the incredible contributions of women in every sphere of life. This year's theme, Excellent Actions, serves as a powerful call to move beyond conversations and step into bold transformative action. एक स्थायी कल के लिए आज लैंगिक समानता जोड़ी, gender equality today or for a sustainable tomorrow. While we celebrate the incredible progress made in gender equality, we must also recognize that there is still much work to be done. Change cannot wait. We must act now. India has produced some of the world's greatest women scientists. Dr. Janaki Ammal, a pioneering botanist, Dr. Ashima Chatterjee, a leader and Dr. C.S. Thomas, the missile of India, to name a few. Their contributions have not only shaped our scientific landscape, but also paved the way for future generations of women in STEM. Yet, every day, women wake up with. Yet even today, women make up only a fraction of India's scientific workforce. The question we must ask ourselves is how do we accelerate action to bridge this gap? We need to encourage young girls to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Break stereotypes that suggest science is a field dominated by men. We provide mentorship, equal opportunities and leadership role for women in research and innovation. Science has the power to transform lives and women have the power to transform science. emerging the possibilities when every girl in our country has a chance to discover, innovate and lead. The future of India's space mission, medical breakthroughs and technological advancement lies in harnessing the talents of all, not just half of our population. As we come together today, let us celebrate the achievements of past, acknowledge the challenge that still exists, and commit ourselves to build a future where every woman and girl has a chance to thrive. We are privileged to have remarkable speakers, inspiring stories and moments of learning ahead. So let us celebrate, uplift and inspire each other, not just today but every day. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you. Let us make this Women's Day 2025 one to remember. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for deeply impressing upon the importance of day. Your words have made the audience receptive towards this event. Now I would appeal to Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean HBNI, to enlighten us with his words of wisdom and guide the celebrations of Women's Day.
Thanks, Tanya. Advocate Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan Sondhi, Chief Guest of the Day. Professor Srimati Aparajita Chattopadhyay, Dr. Ahana Srivastava, outstanding scientist from NPD of BARC and chairperson of HBNI Women's Day. I see Dr. Shobhan Nair, Dr. Umashankari Kannan, my batchmate incidentally, Srimati Swati Ingole, and Professor Naveen Kumar, Professor P.D. Nayak, immediate past Dean of HBNI, and I am so glad to welcome a large number of colleagues from BARC, of course HBNI and HRD also. Good afternoon and welcome to you all on International Women's Day celebrated by HBNI. We could not do this time on March 8th because it was Saturday, as well as for other reasons we decided that we will do on March 11th. Let me once again welcome you all. Of course, I always say that we should not say International Women's Day. Each and every day should be celebrated as an International Women's Day. Right from the time when a man is born, he grows, becomes adult, further grows, becomes old, then very old, and last day comes. In this entire span of life, different persons take utmost care of the man. What is common on them? All of them are different. Mother, the mother roles, then wife, then daughter, daughter-in-laws, and other female relatives. Such is the caring nature of women. That's how God has restored them with exceptional kindness and exceptional caring kind of nature. Some of the men who spend long hours in office, it is all because there is a woman at home to take care of many things. This is a kind of contribution we don't realize day to day, but when you think deep, you realize the kind of significant contributions they make in one's life. You might be wondering how this International Women's Day on March 8 was initiated. Way back in 1917, you may recall Russia had what is called as Russian Revolution, in which women played a significant role. As a mark of respect to women who participated in Russian Revolution, Vladimir Lenin announced March 8 as International Women's Day in 1922. There are many more moments where women played a big role. One or two comes to my mind. One of them is Born to Marry, bus boycott. It is very well documented in open literature. At this small incident, a sort of non-cooperation by Rosa Parks, an African woman, eventually led to a very big civil rights movement in US. So this is the kind of courage and tenacity of women. India has rich traditions of celebrating women's success and women in our life. I may quote a Sanskrit shloka, Yatra naraste pujante ravante tatra devta. In Hindi or Marathi we can say, जहाँ नारियों का सम्मान किया जाता है, जहाँ नारियों की पूजा की जाती है, वहाँ देवता बसते हैं. And India has very rich traditions of women scholars. Some of them are Lokpudra, Gargi, Maitri, Vishwambara, and some were mentioned, of course, in the last 100-150 years. Datta also mentioned. Such is the contribution of India to India by Indian women. All these things were taught to us right from ancient India. But today, if you lift the newspaper, switch on TV news, one thing is clear that maybe we have forgotten all these teachings. And it is high time we should go back. All these kind of news should not be published. They should not happen. If they don't happen, then of course newspaper also has nothing to cover. So we have to go back to our ancient teachings. One more incident I thought I will share with you, which happened nearly 40 years back. It was August 20, 1985. It was the first day when I came to Mumbai to appear in my training school interview. As one may recall, we come from 85-86 batch, 29th batch. So I got down at Dadar, then I took a train in reverse direction to go to Andheri to stay with my relatives, and I had an interview on 22nd of August. So this auto where I was riding, and in front of him another auto was there. I saw in Marathi, of course, because Marathi and Hindi script is same. So it was written there, Mulgi Shikli Pragati Jhali. And I came for the first time in Maharashtra. So you can imagine I had to slightly understand, I had to interpret, reinterpret. So Shikli, anyways, I could understand immediately. Mulgi I was not able to understand, but adjoining there was a female child photo also. So I could correlate, maybe Mulgi means a small, young girl. Then of course I could make out. And I asked the auto driver that does it mean what I understood, if you teach a female child Pragati Jhali, you are on the path of progress. Auto driver said, sir, आपने एकदम ठीक समझा, इसका मतलब यही है. So such is the importance we give to female child and females, of course, adult women also. But somewhere, of course, we have to accelerate this. Somewhere some shortcomings definitely might have happened, knowingly or unknowingly. Now time has come to take corrective action. You all know we talk about HDI, Human Development Index. There are various parameters which are used to assign HDI value to a nation. Someone will say per capita electricity consumption, very important parameter. Then there are parameters like per capita income, education level. We also say access to potable water, access to sanitation, and some more parameters are there. UN has added one more parameter, and that parameter is women's safety. Message is clear. If in a country women are unsafe, that country probably lacks as far as SDI is concerned. So a lot of importance is being made all over the world for women education, women empowerment, women safety. All are very important. I fully agree with Dr. Datta that there should be a better representation of women in higher education. But still science-based subjects, my personal opinion, which could be echoed by others also, is perhaps correct also. Science-based subjects do slightly better compared to many others. I am sure that could be the case in law also. Our chief guest, madam, may agree or disagree. If you see traditionally, biology and chemistry, we have very decent representation of women, followed by physics and mathematics. Some of the men, if they are thinking that women don't have temperament for physics and mathematics, I may remind them, none other than Shakuntala Devi, world-class mathematician. She was called as human computer. This was the kind of grasp of mathematics she had. So there is no correlation at all of gender with a given subject. It is just that sometimes they tend to go to a given discipline for whatever reasons compared to others. One of the greatest scientists ever walked on earth was a woman. I am referring to Madame Curie. Madame Curie is the first woman to get Nobel Prize, and till date the only person to get Nobel Prize in physics and chemistry. There are 2 Nobel Prize winners, good number. But she is the only person who has got Nobel Prize 1903 in physics and 1911 in chemistry, discovery of radium and polonium. So such is the kind of contribution of women in science. I can go on giving many examples, but I also don't want to intrude in the time of our esteemed speakers. Coming to BRC, coming to DAE in general and BRC in particular, we have got BRC Training School. The main mode of recruitment of scientists in DAE. Here, if you see advertisement, it is going to appear in coming weeks, or you can see last year advertisement. Year after year, we write a footnote. Women candidates are encouraged to apply. In board letters is published. We also do not charge any application fee from women candidates, irrespective of their social strata. They may come from poorest of the poor family, or they may come from rich family. Irrespective of that, as a mark of encouragement, DAE has made a policy not to charge any money from them. Coming to HBNI, I represent HBNI now. HBNI can boast of having 30% female students, all courses put together. This is a very handsome number compared to many other organizations. Of course, there are organizations which are now having 50% also. But we are a young organization. We are founded in 2005. So in less than 20 years, we could achieve this 30% ratio of female candidates. So from BRC to HBNI, now I think I will take another 1 minute to mention about my own group also. In my own group, can you guess the number of female colleagues? 45%. 45% of my colleagues were women, and they have done exceptionally well. I was so happy with them. Many things only they could do. No, others I could not depend, and I continue to depend on them now also. Some of them are present here. It is because their temperament for handling complex things, their temperament for multiple tasking is unbeatable. I can vouch for this, that our women colleagues were able to do multitasking much better than any man around, including me perhaps. Now it is time that we should give back dues to them. How we can do that? Empower the women and in turn empower the nation. I must once again welcome you all. I will not talk any further. And I must thank Dr. Datta, you and your entire team for drawing such an impressive program with a very rich scientific, very rich lectures, scientific, non-scientific both of course, and panel discussion also is there. And this really is remarkable. You all have put a lot of efforts, and any program becomes very grand success because of participation of our different colleagues who have spared time from otherwise their very busy schedule. Let me once again welcome you all to the HBNI organized and celebrated International Women's Day, and we promise you that our each day will be like this only. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Your address was very encouraging and appreciative towards the involvement of women in every corner of the world. The day has gained much traction since your speech. It is my privilege now to invite Professor Aradhana Srivastava, Chairman HBNI Women's Cell, for the introductory address. Please, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon, and my warm greetings to everyone present here today, to our dignitaries seated on the dais, Dean HBNI Professor Tyagi, who has given such an inspiring and motivating address just now. Thank you very much. And I welcome our distinguished speakers and our chief guest, Advocate Sandhya Solti and Professor Parajita. And I also welcome our associate deans, Professor Datta and Professor Naveen Kumar. And my special thanks to our panelists and the member of the committee, Professor Uma Shankari, former head of RPB, and Dr. Shobha Nair, head psychiatrics unit BARC, Srimati Swati Ingole, NGO Shield Foundation, and member of SWC, and Professor Naveen Kumar, again as a member of the committee. So, and also all members of the audience, my heartfelt welcome to each of you. Today we gather to celebrate the incredible achievements of women across various fields as we commemorate International Women's Day. International Women's Day, as Professor Tyagi mentioned, it is usually observed on March 8th and is dedicated to recognizing and honoring women's achievement in social, political and cultural arenas. You might, and also the history goes actually before the Russian Revolution. Actually it started, dates back, this history dates back to 1909, when a political party in the United States celebrated actually 15,000 women who marched in protest for their rights, demanding fair wages, equal opportunities and the right to vote in New York City. Originally known as, in USA it was known as National Women's Day. The celebration gradually spread globally, and as Professor Tyagi rightly pointed out, it was Russia who marked March 8th date as a Women's Day. And it was not until 1975 that the United Nations officially recognized International Women's Day. And then, since 1996, each year has been dedicated to a theme, a specific theme celebrating women's contribution to the society. This year, in 2025, we celebrate under the theme for all women and girls, rights, equality, empowerment. This theme urges us to take action that unlock equal rights, power and opportunities for all, envisioning a future where no one is left behind. All heart of this vision is the imperative to empower the next generation, our youth, especially the young women. Investing in women and girls is vital for us to confront the challenges we face today, whether they are economic, conflict related or climate related. This theme conveys a powerful message. When more women are economically empowered, economies flourish. When women are equally represented in governance, societies thrive. When women live free from violence, families prosper and business prosper. When women are included in peace processes, peace is achieved more swiftly and it endures. Women have always been essential to the fabric of our society. They are not just mothers, sisters, daughters and friends. They are leaders, innovators and creators. Women have shattered ceilings, broken barriers and consistently proven that when given opportunity, they can achieve greatness in every field. As we celebrate International Women's Day, let us also reaffirm our commitment to support and empower the women in our lives. Let us encourage women to dream big, pursue their passions and never give up, regardless of the challenges they may encounter. Together we can create a world where women are celebrated every day, where their voices resonate loudly and where their potential is fully unleashed. To all wonderful women here today, a happy Women's Day. Not just today, but every day. Thank you all for being here and happy Women's Day.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring and insightful address. With your remarks, we recognize how resilient and striking the women around us are. I kindly request all our dignitaries to take their seats in the front row as we proceed with the next part of the program. Please, everyone.
Good afternoon to all and a very happy Women's Day. I welcome all of you on behalf of Women's Cell HBNI. And today we have two speakers who are indeed example of women empowerment. One of our speakers is Advocate Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan Sonli, and she will be enlightening us on the subject of POSH policy, which is the need of the hour. Advocate Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan Sonli is a founder of SBS Legal Advocates and Mediators, which is a private client practice on contracts and estate management. Ms. Sandhya has completed her BA and has done her LLB from Government Law College, Mumbai. Ms. Sandhya has more than 30 years of experience in commercial documentation, estate planning, civil matters and banking matters. She is on panel of leading private and PSU banks. Her practice area is legal advice in real estate matters, RERA filing and litigation, family court, city civil court, RERA, consumer court and small causes court. Ms. Sandhya holds an arbitration certificate from Indian Merchant Chambers as certified neuro-linguistic programmer. She is a visiting faculty in MA Mediation at Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai. I invite Ms. Sandhya, Advocate Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan, to take the dais. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Respected Chairperson, Professor Radha Srivastava, outstanding scientist, BRC of Women's Cell in HBNI, respected Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean and Vice Chancellor officiating of Homi Bhabha National Institute, Professor Naveen Kumar, Registrar officiating Homi Bhabha National Institute. It's an honor to be here today at this International Women's Day, which is being conducted by the Women's Cell. I also want to welcome and give my greetings to Professor Aparajita Chattopadhyay, Dr. Shobha Nair, Professor Uma Shankari, Swati Ingole, Kiranmay, I think she's not here. And yeah, thank you so much for having me here. It's a real honor. Today I have been given a topic of, a very technical topic of sexual harassment of women at workplace in 2013. I need to go back a little bit before I speak about this specific act. We have to go back to somewhere in 1979 when the UN put forth a resolution and we promised the UN in 1979 that we would make it safe and for all women in the workplace. Go forward to 1992. In India, we just generally don't do things till we are pushed to do things, right? A small village in Rajasthan, a horrific act happened which made the country stand up to doing something which we needed to do long ago. Let me give you a story about Vanbari Devi. Vanbari Devi was a Satin in Rajasthan. She worked for the Rajasthan government. Saket was somebody who supported the government for all kinds of social initiatives which they took. Banwari Devi heard about a marriage taking place of a 1-year-old girl of a family from a Gujar family. Gujars are higher caste people. She had the courage to go and stop that marriage. And because of that courage, which she showed, which they thought as disrespectful, that Gujar gentleman along with his friend, basically 5 men, raped Banwari Devi in the presence of her husband. She, in the night, went to the police station in the clothes that she was raped in, and she was told that they will not take the FIR. Finally, when they did take the FIR, they asked her to remove the gagra which she wore. This, she had to then wrap herself in the dhoti of her husband and walk back home. So it was insult at every stage during this horrific incident. And thereafter, she went to the case started. When the case started, the women, of course, got bail. She lived in the same locality as them. Think of how traumatizing this is. And thereafter, the men got an acquittal. The acquittal which they got, they were told that the High Court judge said that these men are of high caste, they would not have raped a person and touched a lady from a lower caste. I want you all to mull over this and think about what has happened. And what a great woman this is, because of whom we can thank and say there is this act of, POSH Act. After this, what we had was, everybody was upset about this. Lot of NGOs came together. They went to the Supreme Court, and we had the case being called as Vishaka versus State of Rajasthan, and it was only in 1997 that we got the Vishaka judgment guidelines, which is for saving or protecting women in the workplace. We got the definition of what is sexual harassment. We got a definition of an employer and what is his duty to file, and it is his duty to file a complaint. We got the processes, like there should be a complaint redressal committee. We also got the process that you need to have awareness programs, and most importantly, the government was told, go and have an act. This is merely a guideline, please have an act. Well, so let's just go through roughly about what is sexual harassment. It was not known that, sexual harassment can be these kinds, besides physical contact. So there is physical contact, demand or request for sexual favors, sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, or any other unwelcome conduct like ogling and sending WhatsApp messages which a woman finds it objectionable. So just look at this. This is an important statistic. Let's directly go down to World Bank 2020 statistics for India. We have just 20.3% of women in the workforce. It's not a good sign for our GDP. Definitely not a good sign for everything that you need socially also. As Dr. Tyagi mentioned, ki mulki shikwa, I just paraphrase it, that you please educate the women and you get progress, right? So that's what's important, because we cannot restrict a woman just to the kitchen, because generally she's a caregiver. She's the one who spends the maximum amount of time, irrespective of being working. She makes sure that the children are attached to her. So let's not get into that side, that why mothers are more close to children, or that's the way it has always been. That's why we pray to Mother Mary, we talk about Jijamata, that's a different topic. I can go on at a different time. So, so this woman who is center point in bringing forth the next generation has to have outlook to life, not just the kitchen or the 4 people she interacts or the 50 relatives that she interacts. And it's important that she be part of the workforce. It's important for our economy to be part of the workforce, and it's important that we have some act for that. So just look at the trajectory. 1992, 1997, it was only in 2013 that we got an act. Well, it's okay. Better late than never. So in POSH Act, the definition which came was of what is a workplace. Why was it important, right? Because Banwari Devi, they were disputing that she was a government employee. Because she was not in an office. Was she in an office? She was not in an office. Did they ask her to go to the village? It was her own initiative to go to the village. So there were a lot of disputes, a lot of discussions about it. Was she doing one of the planned projects of the government at that specific time? So there were a lot of discussions, and that's why they came up with definitions like what is a workplace, how you must have an internal committee, complaint committee, you must have a local committee, there's a procedure to file a complaint, punishments and penalties, and also what happens if a woman does a false complaint. So let's go first with the workplace. I just brushed because generally POSH trainings are for the whole day. I have tried to encapsulate the whole thing for the next in 25 minutes, so maybe I'm rushing through it, and as long as somebody is taking back something with them and I know all of you are curious about it, so you all will read more about it, being research students and research scientists. So anyway, so workplace is something a government department, organization, so it also is a private sector, any organization where there are more than 10 people working need to have the POSH compliances in place. Hospitals, sports institutes, educational institutes, a dwelling place or household, because we have maid servants, sweepers, somebody who comes to repair something, all of them, urban company, a therapist who comes from there, they all fall under the definition of coming to a workplace. And any place visited by an employee, which is what Banwari Devi was doing. And also most importantly, because of our post-COVID, we have been having things like work from home. So then the house has to be considered also as a workplace. An internal committee is formed generally by any company, any organization which has more than 10 people have to have an internal committee. So this is mandatory. An internal committee comprises of a presiding officer who can be from the organization. It comprises of one more member who can be from the organization, but it definitely needs to have one person who is from outside the organization. This is mandatory. So, and at least 50% of the people have to be women, and minimum 3 people, including the presiding officers, should be present for inquiry. And their term is approximately around 3 years. So what happens to the people, as I mentioned, that somebody who comes from an urban company, somebody who comes from maid, what do they do? Where do they go for redressal, right? So the redressal that they go to is something called a local committee. So every municipality and every region has this local committee. Maybe it's not publicized, but it is there. It's very much there. And if you know of somebody who is going through this sexual harassment, then you should go and approach the local committee. There's one important thing I must tell is that this POSH committee is also not just for women, it's also for men. Okay? Today, because it's International Women's Day, I'm speaking only for women. So the procedure to file a complaint is you file a complaint to the internal committee or the local committee. You make copies of it, and you have to attach and if you are not, if the employee is not in a condition to make, a family member can also make it. There are procedures like 6 copies. Once it is made, you have to give it to the other side, and they have to receive it within 7 days. and then the whole complaint lies only for 90 days is the inquiry and things like that. These are very procedural things which I am not getting to at the moment. There are compliances. Naturally, we all tend to be lax about following the law, right? So that's the reason why the government had to put some kind of compliances, that if the company does not do it and if somebody comes for some kind of a test, then definitely they have to pay penalties, and they did do that with the Chennai company by making them pay more than 1 crore of rupees for not having the POSH compliances fulfilled. And also there are strict so there are certain strict things like if a company does any kind of an offense the second time, the licenses can be revoked. So every act we have to be careful, When I have been given a right, I have to be very, very responsible for my duties. Everybody speaks about our rights. We all speak about ye mera hak hai, and what about my zimmedari? What's about my rights? So there is a deterrent as to, if anybody does a false complaint. We have to be capable enough to understand and have the wisdom to understand and not give any kind of a false complaint. And sometimes I am part of various ICCs in different private organizations, and it's been my personal experience also that sometimes there is a fine line, very fine line, and it's very difficult to make out whether it was sexual offense or whatever. But at the same time, maybe the reason why people are not aware is that they are not trained for it properly. So everybody who is going into the workforce, or even anybody who is working at the moment, need to be aware about the differences, the fine lines and the boundaries of what all POSH Act is all about. So coming to, so then there is, what happens is that there is a false complaint is, there can be you can be reprimanded, etc. And we told the promotions, etc. Now, because of this, because of what has happened, it was found that, the backstory is that every woman, so I just say that every woman who is out on the road also has faced sexual harassment of some kind, ogling, in public transports and everything. Same way, unfortunately, the statistics show 38% of women had faced sexual harassment at the workplace. Almost more than 50% of them restrained themselves from filing a complaint out of fear. And when they were questioned about legal protection, they did not feel protected at work. 42.2%. So now it's made, a sexual harassment has been made as a criminal complaint of offense. There have been many cases which have come up, and companies are following compliances. As I said, I have been part of various ICCs, and I have gone through it. And I'm very happy that women are standing up. But as a mother and of a son and a daughter, there are certain things I want everybody to follow. Like what I feel is that after going through my various cases of ICC, when I've been sitting as an ICC member, I have noticed that sometimes some friendships gather and have become forged together, and I have noticed that you lose the boundaries. So do not send WhatsApp messages. I tell people when I am doing a training that do not send a WhatsApp message which you would not send to your father, your brother, your relative, your male relative. Because then that person also might send it back to you, or some other kind of thing which then you will get offended. So keep the boundaries, because let us respect our workplace. Our workplace is like our temple. And our workplace is something, a karma bhumi you can say, and we must respect our workplace and the employees and our colleagues who work there, and keep that fine difference of between each other. Do not pass jokes or get over friendly, and do not pass Especially do not do WhatsApp messages and do forwards which you think is cool to a person, and but and you know that this kind of a joke you wouldn't send it to your father, your brother, or a male relative. Similarly, I'd say that wear clothes which you can also wear in front of your own family. And so that, not for anything else, I want women to be having free will. But we all know which is how to draw the line, and let's keep that respect of our workplace also. I need to tell this, maybe it might be you all might object to it, but I think it's important that we know this also. That's all from my side, and I have a short video to be played.
रविवार की सुबह या मंगलवार या बुधवार, रोज की कहानी है। रविवार की सुबह या मंगलवार या बुधवार, रोज की कहानी है। मैं अपना काम कर रही थी।
अरे बीवी, एक गिलास पानी तो पीने दे।
और तभी साहब को प्यास लगी। और भाई, पानी पीने का असली मजा तो शेल्फ में ऊपर रखे हुए ग्लास से ही आता है। लखनऊ में आज की दोपहर थोड़ी अलग है।
क्या बात है डिम्पल जी, आजकल आपके गाल जो है ना वो टमाटर की तरह लाल लाल हो गए। वैसे पिंक ड्रेस में आपको देखकर मैं दिल खुश हो गया। आप एक काम करो, आप हमारे दिल का ख्याल रखो, हम आपकी प्रमोशन का ख्याल रखें।
अजय, नौकरी इनकी बदौलत है तो इतना बोलने का हक तो बनता है ना। और ये देखिए, आज की शाम इस छोटे से गांव में कितनी खूबसूरत है इन जनाब के लिए।
अरे बहुत मेहनत करती है तू। घर से काम बंद कर दूंगा तेरा, और दूसरे ठेकेदार का भी काम नहीं मिलेगा।
पूरा दिन इतनी लगन से मेहनत करती हूँ तो लाला जी सराहना तो करेंगे ना। आप सोच रहे होंगे ना ये सब मैं आपको क्यों बता रही हूँ, क्योंकि कभी किसी को बताने की हिम्मत नहीं होती। अगर हिम्मत करके बता भी दो तो कोई विश्वास नहीं करता, और अगर कोई विश्वास कर भी ले तो साथ नहीं देता।
एक सुरक्षित कार्यस्थल हर महिला का अधिकार है और हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी। इन्हें हिम्मत दें, इन पर विश्वास करें, इनका साथ दें।
So every place that we work needs to have the names of the ICC put in all the places, kept in all the places, so that there's privacy for the women to call up the ICC member and get redressal. So any organization that you work for or you enter, you must see this name of 3 to 4 people kept as internal committee member, ICC member. So this is very important for all of you all. I want all of you all to also remember that if you see something happening to somebody else, also you can call the ICC. If you are going through it, let us also take the courage that Banwari Devi did as an unpad, so-called unpad person, standing and changing the way of women working in India. Let's have the courage to stand up and fight for our rights. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your address was very insightful and eye-opening to us all. And it made us all think and ponder over the fact that safety at workplace is a basic human right, not just for women but men also. And next, we are now opening the floor for the questions on the talk. Does anyone from the audience have any questions? Yes, there is someone over there. Can someone please?
Madam, this one down. The internal committee is actually composed of the employees from the organization, right? 2 people from the organization and 1 external. Yeah. So
Minimum, you can have 5
because
people.
now the culprit would also be from the organization.
Yeah.
And these people are reporting to the internal committee members are also reporting to the senior most people in the organization. So what is the credibility of independence of the internal committee?
So basically there is also one independent person who is part of the ICC, right? So you can call that person. And the privacy, and the most important thing, as I said, when we have been part of ICC, the first thing that you need to do if any complaint comes is remove the woman from the place and give her safety. So the moment you tell the ICC member about it, they have to remove you from that branch or that organization somewhere. Not that you have to leave your workplace. I mean, you will continue working, allow you some kind of a leave till the inquiry is done. But I have seen it happening. So you get protected for sure. You just have to call one of the 3 people or 4 people, 5 people. Generally it's an odd number. That's how it works. Yeah. Yes. ICCs can just work independently.
Madam, thank you very much for wonderful presentation. We were really emotional also to see, especially the video. Madam, you rightly mentioned that India has got 20.3% women in workforce. But at the same time, out of this, a large number works in unorganized sector.
Yes.
Organized sector like this, number is very small. You have got ICC, you have got people to look after, there are people to support you. The main problem area is the women, large number, maybe out of 20.3%, I don't know exact number, could be 70% or 60%. Those who work in unorganized sector where nobody is to even listen to your complaint. So something one has to think in this direction also. The maid servant which you mentioned.
Yeah, so they have local committees.
But people don't know.
Know about it.
You also mentioned this.
Yes.
In fact, I don't know how many of you know about this local committee. I did not know incidentally. committee at municipality level, today only we have learned about this.
Yeah, we didn't know, really, we didn't know.
There is a
So
local
this has to
committee.
be, propagated. That rights are, very much can be protected.
Everybody. Yeah, everybody. Rights are there for every woman who works. It is organized. That's the reason I gave the example of urban company, because they are the ones who send beauty parlor ladies and masses.
Yes. And working in the field and all.
Yes, all of them.
This Banwari Devi incident, 1992, I remember very well. It shook the nation, in fact.
Shook the nation.
It was in my growing up years in BRC, and all that led to, POSH Act, remarkable.
One woman.
And Vishakha also was a lawyer.
Vishakha was basically, there were the group of NGOs which came together to fight the case
forward.
Yeah, they took the case forward to Supreme Court. So that's why from 1992 we see in 1997 that we got the Vishakha judgment.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
Please read Vishakha guidelines. You will be amazed to see your rights.
Till 2030. Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Are there any more questions? As a token of our appreciation, I request Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean HBNI, to present memento to our esteemed speaker, Advocate Ms. Sandhya. Please, sir.
On behalf of HBNI and on behalf of all of you, I am honored to present a small and we look forward to inviting more of them.
Now I request Professor Madhumita Goswami, Associate Dean HBNI, to introduce our next speaker, Professor Aparajita Chattopadhyay of IIT.
Thank you, Tanya. My pleasure to introduce Professor Aparajita Chattopadhyay, a guest speaker of today's event. Professor Aparajita Chattopadhyay is a distinguished professor at International Institute for Population Science, IIPS, Mumbai, with a rich academic and research background spanning over 2 decades. She holds a PhD in Population Study from IIPS and Master's in Geography from University of Calcutta. Her area of expertise includes gender issue, aging, nutrition, environment development, and public health. Professor Chattopadhyay has coordinated major projects like longitudinal aging study in India, Rashi, since 2014. She also led and contributed to several major projects funded by organizations like UNICEF, Government of India, and World Health Organization, focusing mainly on child health, women's health, and environmental issues. Her research has resulted in numerous publications, including books such as Undernutrition in India and Population Dynamics in Eastern India and Bangladesh. She has received several prestigious awards, including KH Innovation Award, KP Pathak Award, for her significant contribution to the demography and health research. Professor Chattopadhyay also held international fellowship, including the Yusuf Hamid Faculty Fellowship at Columbia University. Her work continued to shape policy and research in population and health study, making significant impact on both national and international platforms. With this short introduction, may I now request Professor Chattopadhyay to come on the stage and deliver her lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Advocate Sondi, for setting the ball rolling. It is indeed interesting to see that on the occasion of celebration of Women's Day, this hall is half filled, rather more than that, and about 10% are men. Thank you, Anindita, for extending our invitation, and ICC committee members and the BRC in general for allowing me to share the podium with distinguished speakers. Remember one thing that many other speakers and Dean also mentioned, that gender issues are not just about women. Men are very much a part of gender issues, and men and women are the two sides of a coin. For every successful man, the saying goes, there must be a woman. In the classroom, I usually say that for every successful woman, there must be a man or a powerful person, at least in our society. And we are fortunate few who are sitting here in this air-conditioned room. Majority of our women are not like as fortunate as us. But at the same time, we must remember that 1 in 3 women sitting here have experienced or stumbled in the life course on some gender issues. And we have converted that stumble into a dance. And that's why we are sitting here. So, with this prelude, dear Professor, I may speak more than Professor Dr. Solvi. So, allow me to speak more. I will try to link some of the macro issues with the micro issues. And all these issues are well known to us. The macro issues will talk about the country scenarios that evaluates women, while the micro scenarios will talk about women in the 4 walls of a household, and they are heavily interlinked. So let's look at our lifespan. The line below I've drawn, assume that it's our lifespan. So the discrimination starts even before birth, which gets reflected at sex ratio at birth, because we modify the fetal sex, and that's why our sex ratio at birth got distorted. I will come to that point. Now, in the due course, we face marriage, and we face a lot of challenges in the labor market. And these two phenomena talks about our valuation in the marriage market and in the labor market. We will get to about it. At the same time, within the household, there is an interesting scenario, especially in our country context, on time use. We all ladies sitting here, we are very well aware of that. Time use and gender violence. So let's set the ball rolling. Now, sex ratio at birth, at a macro level, usually the sex ratio at birth hovers around 105 boys birth by 100 female births. Now, God has gifted 5 male extra. We all know that. You all are scientists. We all know that why 5 extra. Because as for the natural balance, the male mortality at every age is higher than female, because of, to a great extent, biological reasons, XX and XY chromosomes. Now, this 5 extra get reduced and it becomes 1:1 in the population overall sex ratio. Right? So this is the graph that talks about America's mortality over time period. You see that male mortality over time period at every age is higher than female. This is a natural thing. Okay. So what is the condition of India? Any idea what is the sex ratio at birth in India? Anyone from the audience? 105 boys per 100 girls is the normal. So what is the India's sex ratio at birth? And it is the purest indicator of gender in our society. No. Oh, so this is our country's sex ratio is hovering around 109 to 10 boys per 100 girls. It is close to, if you convert it in 1,000, it is around I think 140, 130, around that, on an average. Sorry, 930, 940 per 1,000 men. Anyway, so this is the condition of sex ratio at birth in India. If you look at the upper corner side, this map, you see the western and northwestern part looks reddish, where the sex ratio at birth distortion is very high. And the discussion started when 1980s, 1990s, when sonography machine come into picture in our market. Because people that time, and that too educated, wealthy and urban people, started to find out the sex of the fetus. And it is relatively lower in the southern and eastern part. Now over the time period, if you see the latest graph, India looks reddish. It has expanded towards east as well as to some extent to the southern regions. Right? Sex ratio at birth. Now, this below map where you can see the circles, this is the mortality, female mortality, higher than males. And it is concentrated in the typical Gangetic belt of UP and Bihar. Why they are dying more? Why female are dying more? Because as per the biology, male is supposed to die more. If public health is a problem, female and male are having equal chance to die. But why female are dying more? There must be some reason. Okay, so what is the optimism and pessimism is this basic indicator of sex ratio at birth. Some are optimistic, some are saying that with increase in females literacy, things will improve, women will understand that both men and women are the same. With conditional cash transfer programs, like when you are directly transferring a cash in the child's name, in the girl child's name, and it has proliferated over the last 20 years, the CCP acts. We may save our girl child, but at the same time, the pessimists are saying that no, the Age of Marriage Act, there is some problem, fundamental problem in our country. It is a sheer failure. And another important gender act is Dowry Act. These two acts are basically utter failure in our country, and we focus on that. But before that, let's see why it is more concentrated in the northwestern and western part, this sex ratio bias. Is it because the number of facilities are more in Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra, Gujarat? But the arguments say that the health facilities are better in southern parts, South India. So things are not getting so much distorted in South India, rather it is happening in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Punjab, Haryana. So that argument is baseless. Second is it because of economy that sex ratio, we want more sun? To some extent, because if you look at the major production, the south and east are rice growing fields, rice growing areas, while the west, northwest are wheat growing. Wheat growth is mechanized. Green Revolution has introduced machines in the wheat growing regions. So the moment there is mechanization, men took major part in the market. There could be a possibility. Is it because of religion? Being Hindu, I can criticize Hinduism, but our regression analysis, statistical analysis, never shows that religion per se is responsible for sex ratio distortion. Because when Hindus and Muslims are staying together, their behavioral tendencies are alike. Right? Rather, it is the Punjabis, it is the Sikh community that has significant preference for sons. Is it because of culture? Another sense argument is that could be because the south and east usually worship female goddesses. The male, God, the preference is more in the western and northern part. Just think deeply, you will find out the connection. But I disagree, because there are a lot of paradoxical states like Tamil Nadu, like West Bengal, who are so-called egalitarian, but there are n number of indicators on gender where they are appallingly, it's a shamble for Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. Be it gender violence, be it age of marriage, be it dowry, they are being too poor. Is it because of history that West and North is preferring son? Could be. Because female needs protection. The burqa or the ghungat were more prevalent in those regions. It could be because of security. And parents think of girl security more seriously than boy security. So this could be the reasons why West and North demand sons or have some preference for sons. And interestingly, just to the lighter side, I'm saying that many of us are mothers. If we give birth to a girl child first, we have been said that, be happy, Lakshmi Aya, right? The first girl child is called Lakshmi, with some assumption at the back of the mind that the second would be a son. And the distortion, sex ratio distortion is highest in the second birth order, not in the first. And remember another thing in our Hindu Shastra, we always talk about religion, but religion, the way you interpret religion, religion gets converted into it. Our religion also says that son is Vishnu, right? Have we ever heard that the first boy, when we give birth to our son first, Vishnu aaya hai? No, never. Lekin Lakshmi aaya hai, aap log sune hain. So see the gender connotation. Okay, so the good part is that optimism, this is our recent statistics that looks into the sex ratio at birth. And downside, our published paper in 2012, where we assumed something with parity progression, we estimated that by 2025, what would be our sex ratio at birth in India. And the median projection says that 117 boys per 100 girls. We should be rejoiced. We have halted that decline because it is currently 109, and our below replacement fertility we have reached. That means if you look at the peak, it has started coming down, and there is never double hump in the sex ratio at birth graph even in this world. So we can assume that in the due course of time it will come down, and there are effect of policies, there are effect of women's education. People have started understanding that there is actually no difference of a boy and a girl. आपको मोक्ष मिलेगा, लड़का आपको आग जलाएगा. लेकिन again there is a condition. If you are not giving birth to a daughter, आपका पाप स्खलन नहीं होगा. Nobody tells that. You must have a girl child, as per the religious complexities to get moksha, right? Okay. Next is, now it is very clear from sex ratio at birth, which is 109 now, that means to become 105, it may take maybe 10, 15 more years. It's not too easy to come down to 105, right? So the point is that why female are being devaluated? It is nothing but a devaluation. Female are not getting as much valuation as men. That's why they are preferring son, right? So what is happening with the marriage market and labor market? These are the two very important markets that determines women's position. Our mean-aged marriage has not improved substantially over the last 40-50 years. It's snail pace it is growing up, and that's why people are debating whether to increase age at marriage, right? But the question is that even if we know that 18 is my legal female cut-off age at marriage, how many are married below age 18? Why are they married? And where are the concentration in India, where the marriage is taking place mostly? First of all, why do girls marry early? Many of us have been questioned in our lifetime about marriage, when to marry. Several times our parents are, jaldi shadi karo, jaldi shadi. Why? Reasons are very clear. First, a man needs a pure woman. We never talk about the purity of a man, but girls' purity is of prime importance in our society, even till date. And there is no guarantee that my girl will remain poor with age. छेड़छाड़ होगा तो शादी बर्बाद हो जाएगा in our country. Next is our social status. Man should be taller to woman. Tall, dark, handsome means in every sense his status should be higher than her status. So when you are marrying early, if your girl is say 20, 22, you have a huge market of men. You can pick up, if you have money, you can pick up any good guy. Why to lose that market? Third is that dowry. Dowry means every society, whether north or south, there is dowry. Don't think that educated south is devoid of dowry. No, absolutely not. And your dowry calculation to a great extent depends on whether you are having a son or not. Your daughter should get married before your son, so that you can recalculate the calculations of dowry. Right? Balancing equation. Right? These are very interesting marriage market. And look at the right side graph, dowry debt. It's dwindling. It's not coming down so sharply. Now, another interesting thing, I am a trained statistician, so I will talk about statistics. Look at the distribution of districts in India, that mean age at marriage and how many districts fall into that category. About 1/3 of the districts in India are marrying below age of 18. 1/3 are marrying on the age 18. That means something, digit preference is there because your law says 18. Usually digit preference is 0 to 5, 0 and 5, now suddenly 18. That means people are well aware of the law. They're making some dal mein kala kuch hai, इसलिए 18 there is a heating of your age, and rest 1/3 more or less above 18. So this is the situation of India at the current level based on NFHs, latest NFHs. And the late part, that the low age at marriage are mainly concentrated. It is there in rich state, poor state, well-off state, plain areas, hilly areas, plateau areas. It cuts across society, right? So it is deeply rooted because in marriage market आप जा रहे हो सब्जी खरीदने के लिए, सब्जी तो ले ही रहे हो और सब्जी वाला को उल्टा उधर से पैसा आपको मिल रहा है. This is a marriage market. That means we are so less value कि जितना जल्दी हम लोग उस पर कर देंगे उतना अच्छा है, right? My Hindi is too poor, right? So that is the thing. So see our valuation in the market, right? And we are responsible. It's not that men alone are responsible. We are equally responsible. Because for dowry, the definition of dowry, giving and accepting, both parties are equally responsible. Why should I marry someone who is demanding dowry? I should stand on my own feet. That's the thing that you need to tell to your scientists in a classroom, that keep your backbone erect, right? Because we are equally responsible for all these matters. Now look at the magic. With increase in education, how your age of marriage is increasing. So educate your girl. There is significant increase with your meanage with girls schooling. Significant increase with wealth. I'm not going into detail. What happened to the labor market? Another market where we are failing. Somebody talked about, I think, Dean Professor, you talked about labor market. Very unusual, very unusual. India is an exception in the entire world in labor market, women's workforce participation. Look at the middle part, the graph. Usually, labor force participation comes down, females labor force participation comes down when a country moves from agrarian section to industrial sector. And then again it goes up when it is in service sector. This is a usual female graph. In our country, what is happening? The down range part is example of our country, and the upper side is the Western countries. Now, in general, in the Western countries labor market, you will see a double hump, two peaks. Initially in 20s, when they are graduating, they are working somewhere, they are earning. And then childbearing, some delay in absorption in the labor market, some gap, and then again they are, because of the system strengthened, child care system is very strong, their financial compensation is very strong for a young mother. Again they are coming back to the labor market in 30s, and the average work participation of female is 80% in the Western world. But in our country, the peak usually is around the age 40s, right? And the peak is stopping around 30s. Somebody said 20s, the current labor statistics, market statistics says it is hovering around 33 to 40%. So on an average over the last 50 years, Indian average vote participation for female is just 30 to 33%. So low. And our GDP is increasing, and there are estimates of World Bank that if female are not coming into the workforce, how much GDP loss we will be facing in the near future. We cannot sustain this GDP growth if female are not coming into the market. And other interesting part, STEM. Our female education in the higher education in STEM field is one of the highest in the world. It is far better even compared to US. 43% STEM graduates are women in India. And why are they? In the labor market? No, they are not able to come and get a job in the labor market. We should think deeply why it is so. And we try to explain that. Now why? First of all, marriage. We say, parents bolega shaadi kar lo. Now once you are getting married, you have to prove your reproduction. Right? Within 2 years, our average age to become a mother is 2 years after marriage. You have to be a mother, otherwise society will be so concerned about you. Right? And then you have to do 3 C's, cooking, caring and cleaning. That is your responsibility. We are being told that that is our responsibility. I am not denying that. Even in Illinois said that you can't have it all. You need to do all those works. Right? And in this process of family building, taking care of the family, women is devoid of the market skills. Why should I give employment to a person who is less skilled? No, because our job market is based on profit. You cannot give charity for a long time. Your economy will collapse. Right? And we don't need pity basically. Right? We need to improve ourselves. So this is the condition of labor market. And it is horrible if you go deeper into the data. The rural and urban statistics are quite horrifying in the sense that in the rural area you have small holding. You do not have agricultural output throughout the year. So half of your family male members come to the nearby urban areas, and there is no fixed income in the rural household. In this context, dowry is an excellent opportunity. So if the boy says that muchko dowry do, I will buy make a shop, I will buy a scooty or do something to have extra income, no daughter's parents will stop you giving that dowry. That is the condition of rural India. What about urban India? We are all educated, high class. What is happening to the urban areas? As just now somebody said, what percentage are in the public sector, in the service? 6 to 8% employed in the public sector. Organized sector, not more than 15%, maximum 20%. And of them, 30% women workforce hoga, so that cannot be even less than 1% of our percentage. So we are fortunate few who are having a salary that comes at the end of the month. Urban area, your aspiration is skyrocketing because of the media exposure, because of seeing others' prosperity. We always aspire to have branded clothes, have a good house, have branded car, have a bigger car. We all aspire. But the condition is that the sandwich class is many. They are earning alone. They have to feed your all aspirations. Otherwise there will be problem in the household. There are huge debt, huge loan. You do not know that if the man dies, what is going to happen to that family. We are just balancing on a very risky situation. This is the urban class. And female are unskilled. Basically, in the process of nurturing the family, they are becoming unskilled. They cannot be absorbed in the labor market after 40s. No. And here again, dowry is a wonderful option. So dowry is not coming down both in the rural area and in the urban area. Right? You have to feed your aspirations. Dowry is a wonderful game here. So in this situation, this is the macro condition. Now let's look at quickly the micro condition. Right? Shall I speak more on the micro condition? So this will hit hard to you. Now, macro level, it has been said that if market demands, women will come back to the job market. The market demand means you have to have daycare center, you have to have enough care support everywhere, and that should be reliable and quite economically, subsidized. Otherwise, it is difficult for a woman to come to the labor market, especially in the urban areas. What about household? That's a very private place. Now just look at the timings. And again I am saying, I am not making men responsible, female and purely responsible, because we accept it. This upper side, the graph shows the average minute per day spent by a man on unpaid housework, right? Not being paid. Obviously cooking, caring, cleaning, 3 C's. Nobody pays wife for that. So how many minutes a man from India devotes for household work? 90 minutes. Look at the other countries. No, this way we cannot survive. We have to demand and man needs to understand. Right? Look at the below graph that is based on our calculation from NSS data. The below, the the black bars are showing your workforce participation. Right? It is a zigzag pattern. Different states are having different workforce participation. But what about the unpaid domestic work? The dashed line? It is static, more or less. Same in every state. That means what? Even if we are working, even if we are not working, we have to take care of crises. It has been fed to us. Okay. Now, another issue is gender-based violence. As I said, that 1 in 3 women sitting here have faced or perhaps are facing this kind of violence. Violence definition is very, very broad. Madam talked about it. It includes different kinds of violent act or threat of such act. Even if somebody is giving a threat, that also comes under violence. And maximum violence in our country is mainly from partner, that means husband. 60% violence happens from husband. Different theories of violence, very interesting theories of violence are there. Why it happens so? First is about masculinity. Man, right? Be a man. Right? We say be a man. Whether we ever say be a woman, no. No. Why? So man means Amresh Puri. There are different characters of masculinity. He should be a studio, he should be a big wheel, he should be the chief earning member, he should have all control, he should have sexual control and bodily control, he should earn the maximum, so on and so forth are the typical characters of masculinity. Now when it becomes toxic, it becomes a problem. Right? So this is called masculinity theory, and they will take advantage because as per the Maslow's hierarchy, the 2 basic fundamental needs that we are having in life are roti, kapda, makan and security. All these 4 components are given by a man. Why shouldn't they take advantage? Right? If we are in their position, we will also take advantage. Honestly speaking. Next is learned behavior. It has been said that what you learn in your childhood, that gets reflected in your behavior. It is a fundamental thing in behavioralism. If you have never seen your father doing laundry, making dishes, you will never expect that your husband will also do the same. It's a natural phenomenon. Right? You can relate your childhood with your current condition. Exceptions are there, exceptions prove the rule. This is called learned behavior. Second is learned helplessness. Women are helpless. We are not working, majority. We don't have an independent finance. That is the core. Financial independence is the core of women's empowerment. Right? Now you do not have helplessness. Yeah, where to go? You do not have earning. Who will take care of you? Your parents will say that by adjust a leg. And husband's house, we know this is what is happening and where should I go? Which will not accept my company. So we remain as it is. And this is based on a psychological test. A mouse is being given food every day inside the cage. Mouse is very happy. Now someday, food is being kept outside, and when mouse tried to come out of the cage gets dropped. It's like Pavlov's scale, like that. Right condition. Dropping, every day dropping. So it is getting hard. So someday you will not drop the gate, you will keep the food outside, mouse will not come out. Because it has been conditioned in that way. And majority of us who are facing violence are of this situation. That to do. This is also a kind of battered wife syndrome, which is noted in ICD. Pathogenesis means you have some biological problems, your biochemistry is problematic, go and have treatment, prolonged treatment. And another is cycle of violence. Cycle of violence means there is ebb and flow, ups and downs, honeymoon period, silence period, violence. Again, it keeps on moving every day. You think that there is some hope, and so you remain in that condition. Now, the violence is that, this is my last section. I will end that this is being called that patriarchy is, there is something wrong in patriarchy. Why patriarchy is being valued across the globe? Why everybody accepts that men is superior than women? Whether it is Europe, whether it is America, whether it is every country, we accept it. Why? And it has been said that the fundamental characters based on which we define patriarchy are basically myths. I am trying to put the argument here. Why it is a myth? We say that men are masculine, men are powerful, physically powerful. All will agree. But no, scientifically it is not true. We survive more. Why we survive more? We face infections better than men. Who does the maximum laborious work? Whether it is in the household or whether it is in any sector, you see that women are doing the most laborious work because that is less paid. Next is who is powerful? Those who are in 20s or those who are in 50s? In this current world, those who are in 50s, 60s, they are more powerful. A pope, a judge, a leader, a dean, a boss, a head. Are they having masculine power? No. They have social power. They have intellectual power. Right? And the last is Homo sapiens are at the top of the pyramid. Is it because they have muscle power? No. Something else is there. So masculinity with power is a trash. It's been fed to us. Next argument is aggression. Men are aggressive, that's why we absorb everything. Again, I am refuting this argument. All wars are being fought by men. But if the country wins, we all enjoy the benefit of that fruit. If India wins in cricket, we all enjoy. The enjoyment manifestation will be different. Right? And in a superior term, we can put aggression as assertiveness. We all are assertive. Without assertiveness, we cannot stand. Right? Second is that those who are fighting, they are aggressive, or those who are making decisions, they are aggressive. Mandarins fought for Chinese. Mandarins are very peace-loving community. In our warfare, mainly the Himalayan region belt, the northeast, they are mainly fighting the war. Who is taking decisions? They are not taking decisions. So they are aggressive or somebody else is aggressive. So don't generalize aggressiveness. It varies individual to individual. And it's a Chinese proverb, they do not waste good iron to make nails. So फालतू लोगों को war में भेजो. Right? Great people will sit in the IC hall. Right? So this is the way we behave actually. But interesting part, in the current aggression or political scenario or decision-making process, we need cooperation, we need some kind of appeasement, negotiation power, introspection, understanding the opposite party well, some emotional strength. Who is better in that? Even psychology says women are better in all these characters. Even with that, why female are not going to the top in majority of the cases? There must be something wrong or misinterpretation of aggressiveness in our society. So again, aggression and refuting the argument it is true. And last is patriarchal genes. Yes, it has been fed to men, it has been programmed to men that you have to earn, you have to be ambitious, women will take care. Whether any of us being questioned that kab kaam karegi, kab job karegi, but men are being questioned every now and then, ye kab aane shuru karoge. So their condition is even more problematic than us. If we don't do job, nobody will question us, but people will question them. Their marriage nahi hoga, right? So that is the problem. So men and women have a different survival strategy and reproductive strategies for historical past. Now, the question is that if you look at the species, different species, many species where female are the head, men are working like laborers. If that is the case, in many species community, what is happening with Homo sapiens? So we need to introspect. So something, and there is a big question mark now because over the last 50 years things are changing very, very fast. Women are in every sphere, women are progressing because men understood that without females' progress they will also not stand. And that's a great achievement because without man's support we cannot stand in the true sense of term. And without our support also man cannot progress for a longer duration. So the question is that things are changing very fast and we are hopeful that by the end of this century we have a brighter, we will see the brighter days. And the best thermometer of a country is, or a nation, is basically how we treat our women. It is told by Swami Vivekananda. And I am quite hopeful about the future of this country. And remember one thing, men and women are not fighting with each other. We complement each other. We have different characteristics. We should support each other so that our country can fly high with two wings. If you cut one wing, the bird will fall. So we have to strengthen the bird by strengthening two wings. Because at the end, we all know, I will just play a song, we all know that sab kuch reh jayega, sirf pyar hi rahega. Right? So, with this I end my chalega? Okay, thank you so very much.
Where the SRB is ulta, the sex ratio, birth ratio. That is one question. And then the second question was that there are some tribes or Adivasi where women is the center power. Okay, so is there any statistics on that?
Okay, thank you very much. Sex ratio at birth is quite normal in Kerala. Even overall sex ratio is more than 1,000 in Kerala. Right? In our country, overall sex ratio is around 940 female per 1,000 men. Sex ratio at birth is 109 male per 100 female. So Kerala is the only exception where statistically no significant bias is being found. And most of the European countries, all developed countries are having normal sex ratio at birth. Like Hungarian is called the German sex ratio at birth. The German is having this kind of sex ratio for many, many years. And tribes, in Meghalaya there are some tribes that follow the maternal line. They do have a normal situation.
And also, you mentioned about your last point about patriarchy and all.
Yeah.
So, but there are communities, the tribals and Adivasis,
Yeah.
in which the women who used to be the center, they
So that I mentioned.
finance.
Yeah.
So, I don't know when it got screwed up.
See, it got screwed up because of there are different theories why it is screwed up, and the best theory is the Marxian theory. Okay. There are sociological theories that says that we distort the societal norm. Hand का hand जो काम है करने दो, leg का leg काम करने दो. If you distort or change this distribution, there will be revolution. And any change in the gender norms came through revolution, right? So you need to change the societal norm. While Marx is saying that no, society is not stable. Society is dynamic, and there is always a clash between haves and have-nots. With the industrial growth, it is the men who took power of the market, took power of the land. They sell their goods to sell off the products in the outside market. So they grab the financial things, and men are being asked to take care of the household. So in the entire process from the Industrial Revolution, this thing got distorted.
Maybe I also will make a comment. You very rightly pointed out, you gave nice example of two wings, and both the wings have to support each other. Okay, men have to support women, vice versa also. Without mentioning name, I will give one incident. I think I will, okay, one to one, because it's being recorded also, and it is telecasted on YouTube as well. So one to one we'll discuss. Okay. I realize it will be recorded.
Hello ma'am, it was amazing talk, but I just wanted to ask your opinion, especially on the concept of dowry. Because why I bring this is, now dowry becomes important from a lady's family point of view, becomes a burden for them. But I know people who, after having refused taking dowry, they were labeled as having some problem. They say kuch to gadbad hai. So how does our society today look at the concept of dowry in both the ways? Your comment please. Thank you.
Thank you for an interesting question. Right. So, see, in Maharashtra there is a tradition. Whatever you are getting in dowry, that gets displayed in the marriage, on the day of marriage, with price tag. In northern belt, we all know whoever is coming from. I taught in BHU, that's why I know. We are well aware that IAS होगा तो कितना dowry देना पड़ेगा, doctor होगा तो कितना dowry देना पड़ेगा. They have a standard. The point is that, yes, if somebody is not taking dowry, then also society is criticizing. The point is the society. The problem in our country is the society. We are not individuals. So you have to be that strong. My job always bolne de. That you have to learn. You have to be very strong mentally. ठीक है, जो बोला है होने दे. How long they will criticize? Because whenever you are deviating from the gender norm, there will be criticism. आदमी किचन में जाके काम करेगा तो बोलेगा देखो मुर्गा है, right? ठीक है, मुर्गा है तो मुर्गा है. How long they will talk about it? That is love. That is what is love. ठीक है, थोड़ा तो आपको सहना पड़ेगा, because at the end of the day everything will remain here. You will go around with love. Thank you.
One more question.
Thank you, madam, for your wonderful talk and correcting these micros and macros, starting from the family to the society level. I have just one question. Is there any study that with the economic development within Indian community itself, how this SRB is changing? Because I know that family is the reflection of the society. And if I look at, say, how I have grown up, and if I look back at 20 years back, what was the thinking? The thinking used to be that dowry, if you simply calculate the interest of the dowry, that is much more than anybody will be earning. The level of dowry which you talked about, many places. But today, if you look at, I know many families, they simply refuse dowry. Number is sizable. I just want to understand that whether there is any study and which supports this hypothesis, or it's just a myth for me. That's the
No,
question.
it's not a myth. As I said, that optimism is there because our study, which is under publication, we are calculating the sex ratio at birth for the future of India. 2012 calculation showed sex ratio at birth will be 120. We have halted. Now it is 109. That means there is some progress in the society. There is progress in education. There is at least mental setup has changed. That people have started believing that no, that the amniocentesis and other things, because this sonography related all those wrongdoings have been reduced substantially. There are conditional cash transfer which says that आपका बेटी 18 होगा तो आपको इतना पैसा मिलेगा, 21 होगा आप शादी नहीं होगा तो इतना पैसा मिलेगा. पैसा speaks. The point is that in the last 20 years, with so many things, with programs, with women's mindset change, with media, I must say that there are some good films that is coming up nowadays. We have started believing that no, we are not different, we have to support each other for our own survival. Things are changing and we must give a big shout out that our sex ratio at birth has halted. Right? Because we assume that when 100% women will be educated, what would be our sex ratio at birth? Now 100% women's literacy has not yet achieved. I believe that next census will show around 85-90% maximum women's education. But still we have halted. I am happy with the country's progress. But still there are other problems.
Thank you for the talk. You said that women have better survival. We have better income with respect to men. But doesn't this early marriage of women leads to the same thing?
No.
Is there any study which...
There are plenty.
Okay.
Plenty, because you look at the maternal mortality, death-related studies. Our maternal mortality, because of the early marriage, by 22-23 must conceive. So when somebody is getting married below 18, obviously by 20, she's a mother. And there are a lot of complications in the reproductive health if you are conceiving at the early age. Our maternal death ratio is around 90 per 100,000 live births. The standard is 70. We won't be able to achieve, as per the SDG goal, by 2030 we have to achieve 70. We will fail to achieve because of this budget marriage. When we were students 20-30 years back, maternal mortality was 300 per 100,000 live births.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now it has come down to 100 at least. There is significant improvement in the reproductive health care, even the policy framework. So at least we have come down to 90 or 100. Some of the southern states have already achieved 70.
Okay. Thank you.
So many questions, I am delighted.
Now I wanted to ask a question about wage gap between men and women for the same work. Like I just read about Claudia Golden, her Nobel Prize work, and there she shared that even with modernization and when women are working more in service sector also, even when men and women are starting in the same scale, but as soon as women are having children, the parenthood effect is taking place and that gap is constant and it is not decreasing even with advancement in the career of the woman, and she cannot actually reach the level of pay a man would reach at the end of his career, but the woman will still be earning less. So what are the policy changes that as a country we have to make so that we can close this gap?
You're keeping your heart out. How many men feel happy if women is at the top position?
I have no objection.
No, you have exceptions. The statistics say around 6 to 8 men reported that they feel happy if women are sitting in the same chair or superior to them. Masculinity works. Now regarding salary, yes. Regarding salary, in the private public sector, you cannot differentiate because there is a clear-cut rule. In the private sector, it is pretty obvious. You cannot control the private sector. And even in the agrarian sector, there is much difference. In the service sector, in industrial sector, in the private sector, government cannot make full control. So it is pretty obvious that there will be difference, and women cannot avoid the reproductive care. A man cannot become a mother. Women need to be a mother. Women need to take care of the child. That is the prime goal of motherhood when you are a young mother. Right? So again, I am reiterating, you can't have it all. But even if you have a good chunk of the cake, you will feel happy.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now we request Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean HBNI, to present your memorandum.
Pretty nice.
Okay. Professor B.D. Naik, ex-Dean HBNI, to present memento to Professor Aparajita as a token of her gratitude. Please.
Thank you.
With this, we seamlessly transition to a pivotal segment of the day, the highly awaited panel discussion in honor of International Women's Day. I invite all our esteemed panel discussion speakers, Advocate Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan Sandhi, Professor Aparajita Chattopadhyay, IITS, Dr. Shobha Nair, Head Psychiatric Unit, BRC, Professor Uma Shankari K, OS and former Head RPDD, BRC, Srimati Swati Ingole, NGO Shield Foundation and member, HBNI Women's Cell, Srimati Kiranmai Sharma, Headmistress AECS 1 and member, HBNI Women's Cell, and Professor Naveen Kumar, Registrar and Associate Dean, HBNI, and the moderator for this session, Professor Aradhana Srivastava, Chairperson, HBNI Women's Cell, to take their dignified seats on the dais.
I just want to make a humble request to Madam before starting the panel discussion that because of the paucity of your time, I would request to keep it brief. Thank you, Madam.
Okay, thank you. We already had a very scintillating discussion during the last talk, and now we just carry forward. And the topic of today's panel discussion is very timely. The breaking the glass ceiling, overcoming barriers to career progress. So I request each of the panelists to give their opinion as requested by Professor Naveen Kumar briefly on this topic, covering the areas like understanding the glass ceiling, what it is, common barriers in the career progression, and what should be the strategies to overcome these barriers. I request to please consider these points while giving your opinion. So maybe we request Professor Uma Shankari, former head RPDD, to give her opinion on this.
Hello. First of all, thank you for inviting me for this important panel discussion. I would straight away start the topic. First, highlight the organizational efforts towards advancement in career. What is rightly said as DEI, that is diversity, equity and inclusion. I would give an example in BRC. It has been practiced for several years in all these fields. We have diversity, we have equity and inclusion in most of the organizational programs. Women scientists and engineers have contributed effectively to the career growth of the organization itself and to the policy planning, committees and vision targets, and practically in all spheres of the institute. A point to be noted here is their strength in numbers, that is, they are still less than 20%. Though they are only 20%, their scientific endeavors have been visible. At the same time, their lacuna is also equally visible. So we should be very careful, and we should always be working towards with honesty and with our utmost dedication. And role of the organization in addressing these women's issue, I would like to again quote one example. I am privy to this. There was an establishment of a high-class creche facility in Anushakti Nagar so that women can advance their scientific temper in a very, very smooth way. And I was one of the prime mover. I feel very, very happy to state that here. Another important factor for women in their mid-career is upskilling. Somebody was telling that we are forgetting what is happening in the past. Science has advanced and all. So upskilling is also very, very important. That is from the perspective of the women. So I think this is very particularly particularly required in our kind of a setting. I am also told that in PhD, I was told last year, the HBNI enrolled more than 50% women. But now he says that it's 30%, but still 30% is a good number as compared to the general workforce in the country. So thank you, these are my views.
Thank you, Professor Uma Shankari, for giving a brief overview and your what in DRC what is happening. And now I think I request Srimati Swati Ingole, who is working with NGO Shield Foundation, and I think working with NGO, how she is crossing over the barriers and helping women to do that.
So I am Swati Ingole and running the organization Shield. Shield is the Society for Health, Innovation, Education and Lives and Development. So all objectives are covered in the name. And related to this Women's Day celebration, I just wanted to tell you, like we are, like all other agendas which we are addressing at NGO level, we are empowering women who are from, who are school dropout and who are lacking of education. So around 1,000 women every year we are giving them skill development training, and 80% of them are getting employed. So we are taking charge of that as well. And this organization has won, I'm leading the organization. My education is in the field of social work only. So I did my master's in social work with medical and psychiatry as a social specialization. So we recently have got an award for Indian CSR Award in 2023. CSR award is something corporate social responsibility, where we are in collaboration with various partners like companies, BPCL, then SBI Payments and RC, then we have Tech Mahindra Foundation. So with all of them, ONGC, RCF, so we are working with all of them and we are creating some results which are for the betterment of society. So my views and my points for this, like how we can, hello. So I just wanted to, how we can overcome the barriers, like we need to choose right career path. Sometimes we are influenced by or forced to take any kind of stream. So when we are unaware of any stream or any this thing, it is okay. But when we are aware like of what is our personality, what is more suitable for us, so we should understand that this is the right field I should choose and I should get. So that then you can get proper results with that. Learn to take decisions for yourself. So then decision can be sometimes right, sometimes wrong. But it is very important that, and every decision cannot be 100% correct or 100% wrong. So you need to take decision and you should learn to take decision. That is one thing I want to emphasize. Then you need to have choose your gurus, your mentors wisely, because with your education you get your teachers, your guide for your PhD. This thing also you must be getting your guide. But sometimes you like to have some gurus, and your theory training is something different, but your practical training and practical implementation in your career is something very different. So if you want to imbibe some characters of some mentor or any leader, so you need to spend time with them and you need to learn from their actions and their the way of conduct, the way of work which they are doing every day, and then choose your team wisely. Sometimes you get an opportunity to choose your team, because if you are working in private sector. So like suppose I am the entrepreneur and I am getting opportunity to choose my team. But in government sector or when you are in job, you cannot choose your team. But sometimes you have to understand that people with what we can say is if they are you can bond with them, you can communicate with them, and you can form your good team, and so you can get better results, and you can, because your team is actually there to support you and they can take you towards your dreams. That is one thing. Choose your battles and focus on your own task. So that is there. You cannot always take everything personally, whatever is happening here and there, and every small and big fights, and you need not have to waste your energy, and you need to choose where you need to put your force and where you should stay silent. So that is another thing. And maybe jealousy, stealing of ideas, sometimes male dominance, this can be the reasons, and this can be the factors. And disclose your innovations and goals. Never do that at early stage. Always disclose it in front of your team, and after at the time of completion, I say. And then always have friendships and like-minded people along with you, progressive people, so that you can have your thought process like that. And yes, if language is the barrier, you should focus on your content and not actually the language. Suppose you have good innovative ideas, you should always be fearless in expressing them, and you should focus on the content, not on your language. If you are lacking in something, and then have some spiritual connect. So that is all. When you are losing somewhere, it will always help you. And yeah, never be ashamed of your failures, because failures can give you learning lesson, and you can learn lesson and you can move ahead. So these are my tips.
Thank you so much, Swati. Really, you gave very nice thoughts, and yeah, how to move forward, how to break barriers, and you gave very nice ideas. Thank you so much. Now we move again back to Sandhya Soni. Please give your...
Hello. So I wanted to speak from my personal experience of being a lawyer, a mother, and an entrepreneur, because I'm a founder of a firm. So I started off as a lawyer, and when motherhood came, it hit me like an avalanche, and you want to be with your child, and then at the same time you want to work. That feeling of free will is not there when you're a mother, because you want to work. So I really need to thank my father, who stood behind me, and my husband also, who allowed me to work. But at some stage of my life, yes, I had to give up my career. And there is this very famous thing which I believe in. When you deeply desire something, the universe conspires to give you that. And that's exactly what happened when I sat at home in 2004. Suddenly I started getting work for myself, and I started working from home. And today I have a team of 6 lawyers who work for me, different fields of law, different verticals, with interns and account. And I feel it's the universe which conspired. So if you're ready to give in your 100%, work hard. We really need to work very, very hard for this. I have seen Swati. She's underplaying what she has done. She has seen her when she, as a founder of her NGO, and where she's reached today. She's worked very hard. So we need to work hard. And yes, as Nan said, that if you've taken the role of a mother, at that time that is your primary goal, and always will be one of your goals. I mean, for me at least, I'm so happy that my children have reached academic successes where they have. But I had to give up certain things. And if you don't have a goal, just sit down and work. And do choose your battles, as Swati said, and keep small things like, you need to work your house like a corporate. The house cannot function, and you cannot be at work if your house does not function. So that's why you need to have a workforce at home to take care of the house, like on autopilot mode, and you work towards it like an investment, and then only you can give your 100% to your work. So wish you all the best and fabulous discussions out here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sandhya. And now we request Dr. Shobha Nair, Head Psychiatric Unit, PRC. Please give your views.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy to be here amongst all of you and listening to two wonderful lectures. I'm just now wondering what I should tell you all and what you would be interested in. Well, I thought then I'll stick to my profession and say, as psychiatrists, what is our psychology amongst women, which can be barriers? I mean, as an individual, what can be the psychological barriers in achieving success or going up the ladder? Now, what patriarchy does to us, the impact of patriarchy can also be that we become a little more dependent individuals, because we always listen to what our dad said or our uncle said or our brother said, and then what our husband said. So many of us develop a little bit of dependent traits, that we want somebody else to just give us reassurance or back us or support us. That's one thing. Two is that we may have our anxieties and fears of doing something which nobody else in the family, nobody in our circle has done it. So fear of failure is something which can limit our ability to take up challenges. Two, and some of us may be having a little low self-esteem and low confidence. So these are areas which we need to address. Many of us feel that we should be perfect in the roles that we do. Because we are meticulous in our work, we want to be perfect. So my suggestion to all of you all will be to accept imperfections. It's okay if the house is not clean for 2 days. It's okay if the clothes are not washed for a week. It's okay. So many things. It's okay if in Dabba you could not give anything and just give some bread slices. It's okay. So not all the time aiming for perfection. That leads to unnecessary burden and guilt. So be guilt-free. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to seek help. Ask for support when needed. Work on skills. If you think that you lack some skills, there's nothing that we cannot get trained for, and we should acquire the necessary training and take up the challenges. Fear of failure. Identify whether you have the fear of failure. Then address it. Tell what is the worst possible outcome. I take this up, what is the worst possible outcome? Think of that and then go ahead. So identifying one's own thoughts, which can be barriers. I must not make a mistake. I should not look like a fool. I shouldn't get embarrassed. What would the others say if I speak like this? Or if I do like this? What if this is not acceptable to my team? And hence I withdraw. So identify your fears, identify your thoughts. Sometimes we awfulize things. कि मेरे साथ तो हमेशा बुराई होता है. I never get success. Because of some past events, we say if I take this up, I know I cannot succeed. कुछ ना कुछ तो बीच में hurdle आ जाएगा. I may not be able to complete. So these are thoughts which you need to identify. What are the negative thoughts that come into your mind which pull you back, which prevent you from taking that leap? Identify those beliefs, those thoughts, dispute them, challenge them, and convert them into flexible preference. Make them flexible. It may or may not. It can or cannot, rather than it should. So identify the shoulds and the musts in your thoughts and make them preferences. हुआ तो ठीक है, नहीं हुआ तो ठीक है. That's the way to go. But I feel that it is not, my personal view is that it is not okay to tell the vulnerable section itself that आपको ही अभी खड़े रहना है. Of course, that is how change happens. हम ही खड़े रहेंगे. But I feel systems also have to change. So when we look at the Scandinavian countries where people have moved from equality to equity, nobody talks about equality now. We all talk about equity, which means that the society knows what the role of the woman is in the house and accommodates workplaces in order to facilitate the woman's work plus life balance. And our governments have also done that in the form of CCLs being given, which is a step towards that direction. but whether that has in some way backfired the career progress is also to be studied. I mean, what happens when people take long leaves? Do their careers get impacted is something which needs, I think, good auditing. But part-time, like there are a lot of countries which can offer you part-time services. Like your work will not, you will not lose your job. You can opt for part-time studies, you can opt for part-time working, you can opt for flexi hours. So these are things which if we look at everything as equality, if a man puts in 8 hours, you put in 8 hours, your timing is high, we don't care how you manage your work front, that you don't bring it here. You do, that would be a little not so compassionate way of dealing with the whole problem. Since all of us are part of the same society and we want our children to be cared for by their mothers, we want our senior citizens also to be looked after by their mothers. When we say that men need to change, yes, they need to change and the change will happen. But in the meanwhile, how can we ensure that women get opportunities to work while balancing their home front? That would be the system or the organization or the society's outlook as well, rather than make the woman only feel that, look, you are not putting in enough efforts. Look at this lady, she's able to. And it's always the privileged, the people who are privileged who are able to do it. Let's all understand that we all come from privileged backgrounds, that's why we are sitting here. So that's all from my end. Thank you so much. One more point, if I have a small, something which has not been touched upon so far. I feel that you are being optimistic about the country, but whenever we have seen that when there is liberal viewpoints come to the fore in a major way, and we become more and more secular in our outlook, parallelly, religious fundamentalism raises its head. And it has raised its head in many countries, and we know what Taliban has done. And we must remember that women will be the targets. Women will be the targets. We are likely to lose our freedoms if we have religious fundamentalism coming up in a big way. So we need to be very perceptive of what's happening around us, how we can gather together. See, finally, if we have to bring about a change, it means we have to collaborate, we have to come together, we have to assert and probably be agitate. So let's hope we don't have any bad times coming up. But globally we know now how there have been restrictions on abortions not to be done. Who is it going to impact? It's going to impact the woman. So we have to be very wary of religious fundamentalism. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Narayan. You gave very important guidance to all working women here. Thank you so much. And now we again move back to Professor Aparajita Chattopadhyay. Please give some advice.
Yeah, just 1 minute speech because I already got enough space to speak. Develop your character. That's the only thing I will say. And character building is a long process. It starts from family, friends, schools, exposure. And genetic things are becomes weaker when your exposure is very, very strong and good. So develop your character and dream big. Because as Advocate Madam said, that is the tagline of my email. If you dream, there will be millions of people from the space, from the universe to help you out. Nainam Chinnanti Sastrani Nainam Dahati Pavaka Nachainam Kidayanti Apu Nasosarati Mahanaka. Develop your character in such a way that no sword can cut you into pieces. Nainam Chinnanti Sastrani Nainam Dahati Pavaka. Pavak आपको खत्म नहीं कर पाएंगे. Nachainam Kidayanti Apu. No dirt can make you dirty. And Nasosarati Mahanaka. Marut means wind cannot blow you out. So develop your character. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, the last words coming from Professor.
Thank you, Madam. First of all, let me wish Happy Women's Day to all of you. And I know that the story which all of you are having, that is a story of courage and fearlessness. Last time I got an opportunity to listen to Ingole Madam also. She told how she started the Civil Foundation and when she presented her first project and what hurdles she has faced. And likewise, I know many of you personally. I know that in audience also that what challenges the women really face in society. The journey which all of you have traversed and the success which you have achieved, that is sheerly because of your grit and fearlessness. And again, when it comes to when Madam was presenting the data that nearly 48% women have faced sexual harassment at workplace and 68% of them never report really. It is because of this fear. And the parallel which I can draw from the freedom struggle, if you look at, see, the Britons were only a few handful. They could rule over us. What was the reason? Reason was the fear and the lack of self-awareness. If you look at the great soil where we are sitting and where one of these legends, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he said, आज़ादी मेरा जन्म सिद्ध अधिकार है और मैं इसे लेकर रहूंगा. Freedom is my birthright and I shall achieve it. Similarly, if you today look at a lot has changed, and I can say surely since my childhood, the case which Madam referred to this Palwani Devi. See, I come from that region, almost nearby to that region from Haryana. She was from Rajasthan and I was in college at that time, and that case has really shook the conscience. And the comments which she told that the upper caste judge, even look at how insensitive was there, that a high court judge is making the remarks that an upper caste person cannot touch, cannot do such a heinous crime. That was the mentality. Now the mentality has got changed a lot in the last 20-30 years. And the reason is, again, I asked the question from the madam that your family, because that is the fundamental unit which makes the society. And if I look at the level of conversation which used to have at that time and today, lot has changed. The dowry, which was one of the biggest issues, now I can see in my surrounding and my near family members, also extended family friends, many are there who simply say, no, we don't want dowry. That phenomena is coming, and I have seen that. That's why I asked Madam whether there is any study on that. So the things are changing, the time is fine. But again, let me go back to the 1909 example when Madam told that yes, there were 15,000 women who protested against the unfair wages. See, likewise also there is saying that बिना रोए माँ भी दूध नहीं पिलाती. See, ultimately the time is right, society is there, opportunities are there. It is the woman or the girl, they need to break the barriers. They need to be fearless. They need to take chances. They need to speak their mind. Whether this is colleagues in that workplace or anywhere where something unfair is being done. So I will wind up with the saying that if I look at, see, this Vivekananda, he was one of the greatest philosophers of the last century. And if I say something about him, what he has said, विवेकानंद जी ने बहुत सी बातें कही, लेकिन जिस एक बात के बारे में वो लगभग हर भाषण में या हर अपनी रचना में उसका उल्लेख करते थे. He used to say, be fearless, निडर बनो. He used to say, दुर्बलता इस जीवन का सबसे बड़ा अभिशाप है. And he used to say, दुर्बलता किसी भी प्रकार की हो, और सबसे बड़ी दुर्बलता है मानसिक दुर्बलता. As Madam was also told that how somebody else is going to judge me. What if I don't perform up to the marks? What if I falter somewhere? See, everybody is prone to these sort of errors. So my only advice is that the only thing today which can prevent a woman from rising is his own thinking. Time is right. As Madam has told that man has also realized without woman you cannot progress, you cannot stand on your own. The only thing is that wherever you are there, be fearless. If something unfair is being done to you, come forward, share with your female mentors, share with your whatever committees are there with those, and at the same time I would like to say that there are policies. For example, Madam has talked about POSH. We have chosen when she agreed to deliver the talk, and when we were discussing among our committee members, and Madam was there, and Deepamita Madam was there, all of us were there. We were really very happy. that such a topic that is being discussed. And let me say with you, madam, though we see that only a few faces are there, few students are there in the audience, but the majority of our students are online because they are the research scholars. And I can bet on it that because we are making this online recording, it will be telecast. You can see later on how many hits it has got. The scope, the coverage is tremendous. That has been our experience. And the initial issues which we were facing, basically that was having electromagnetic interference because of this online transmission, not because of the echo in the hall. That was not there. That's why my IT team was struggling. And I'm sure that this will be broadcast and this will be there available for everybody. It will have. And finally, I would like to say with my students, I want to say a few things. That if you look at NEP 2020, many things have changed. If you look at the gross enrollment ratio, the one heartening fact is that the gross enrollment ratio overall, gender-wise, for females it is better than males. Overall it is 28.4%, but for the females it is 28.5%. 0.1% higher is there, but overall the gross enrollment ratio is quite low. And for the girls, what is being said is that the girl gets married and once she changes the place, for example, somebody moves from Lucknow to Delhi or somewhere else, the biggest casualty is her education. Now NEP 2020, what it allows you is, it allows you to redeem your credits at the other universities. That's a very nice facility, keeping in mind only particularly this one section, which I can think of immediately, that the females are the girl candidates, they will be highly beneficial about it. So that is one change as far as education policy is concerned. I request propagate it, tell your friends also, so that they can avail of this facility. Second thing is policy changes also. Many things have taken place. For example, our Honorable Dean, he told that we don't charge any fees for the entrance exams and something like that. Likewise, whenever even for this female PhD scholars, if they want to avail of maternity leaves, remember you will be paid, this will be paid. This will not be the scholarship, but the fellowship will not be stopped, even during that period also. Many such things are there, I can go on, but again, I will violate my own words that I requested man that be brief. So with this, I will once again wish a happy Women's Day, and every day to be Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ravi. And do we have any opinion or any comments coming from the audience? If not, then I thank all the panelists very much for giving such beautiful thoughts, and then that will help, of course, all the audience and all the students who are attending online to achieve their goals, cross their barriers. Thank you so much.
Appreciation, I request Dean HBNI, Professor A.K. Tyagi, to present memento to Dr. Shobha Nair, Head Psychiatric Unit, BRC.
Thanks for spending time from the busy schedule. I can imagine how busy you sleep.
I now request Dean to present memento to Professor Uma Sankri, OS and former head RPDD BRC.
First time we met here only, on September 1, 1985.
I now again request Professor A.K. Tyagi to present memento to Srimati Swati Ngole, NGO Shield Foundation.
Thank you very much for spending time with us.
I again request Honorable Dean to present memento to Professor Naveen Kumar, Registrar and Associate Dean HBNI.
You were a panelist.
I again request him to present the memento to Professor Radhakana Srivastava, Chairperson HBNI Women's Day, as a mark of her gratitude.
I remember that.
This concludes the first segment of the day, and we saw how the panel's insightful perspectives on strategies, resources and actions for advancing women's empowerment resonated deeply with us. We now move forward to the next segment of the day, that is the announcement and distribution of poster prizes on the occasion of International Women's Day. I now invite Professor Naveen Kumar, Associate Dean HBNI, to declare the winners of the poster competition. Please, sir.
On this Women's Day, to celebrate Women's Day, we have organized a poster competition which was open to all the students, and my colleague Dr. Rachna Agarwal, she was the coordinator for this event. Unfortunately, because of some health issue, she is not here right now, and in her absence I am going to announce the prizes. Basically, we have organized poster competition with the themes that accelerated action for gender equality, prevention of sexual harassment against women at workplace, and breaking the glass ceiling. A number of participants, they submitted their these posters online, and the first prize for this competition that goes to Miss Anusri Day. She's here. If she's here, yeah, please. It was really wonderful. If they can display the. Yeah. Where is this the poster? Okay. So, I will request our Professor P.D. Nayak, former Dean HBNI, to do the honors for us. Thank you, sir. Please. Second prize goes to Mr. Atanu Das. He is here? Okay. The third prize goes to Miss Shweta Singh. Miss Shweta Singh. I request Dean HBNI Professor A.K. Tyagi to do the honors. Please show. Yeah. Sir, here, please. We have two consolation prizes. The first prize, which is consolation prize, is Miss Leela Jaiswal.
She is winning prize in all the competitions. Well talented.
One more consolation prize that goes to Mr. Prasad Gajre. You can see this sort of participation now. The prizes are won almost equally by male as well as female. How much the males are also concerned about this woman empowerment, that shows a gender equity. HBNI here also sets an example. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Naik sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for doing the honors. Now, over to you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. From pioneers of the past to innovators of the present, the women have changed the world forever. But people, neither the women nor the celebrations must end up here. The tenacious, empowered and resilient women will continue molding the society daily. With these emotions, I feel abundant pride in presenting before you a small token of appreciation in the form of a cultural program possible by the joint efforts of the students, staffs and faculty of HBNI and Tata Memorial Center. Before we proceed further, let us invoke the blessings of Ma Saraswati, the embodiment of wisdom and knowledge. I now invite Professor Dipanvita Datta, Associate Dean HBNI, for Saraswati Vandana recitation. Let us all join in devotion.
महाराष्ट्र शिवरायांचा, महाराष्ट्र शिवरायांना घडवणाऱ्या जिजाऊंचा, महाराष्ट्र शिवरायांवर छत्रछाया ठेवणाऱ्या कुलस्वामिनी आई तुळजाभवानी मातेचा, महाराष्ट्र स्त्री शक्तीचा, महाराष्ट्र स्त्री सन्मानाचा, महाराष्ट्र स्त्री कर्तृत्वाचा, महाराष्ट्र माय भवानीच्या लेकींचा.
जब जब शमशीरें तानी है माहे भवानी आंधियां उठे शत्रु जब सही मिटे हमने बात यही मन में ठानी है माया भवानी
कल्याणच्या सुभेदाराच्या सुनेला आईचा दर्जा देणारे शिवछत्रपती मात्र त्यांच्याच राज्यात आज काय घडत आहे राजे आज तुमच्याच लेकीबाळी सुरक्षित नाही स्त्रियांवर होणाऱ्या अन्यायाविरुद्ध राजे आम्ही शस्त्र हाती घेऊच पण राजे आपल्या लेकींवर सुरक्षेची ढाल आणि मायेची शाल बांधायला राजे तुम्ही परत या राजे तुम्ही परत या
Really has refreshed the celebratory honor of the room. Without any further ado, I would like to request Dr. Folumi Mukherjee, Scientific Officer G, NABTV, BRC, to mesmerize and sway us with her singing. Let us welcome her with a big round of applause.
छोटी सी आशा मस्ती भरे मन की, भोली सी आशा चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा, दिल है छोटा सा छोटी सी आशा मस्ती भरे मन की, भोली सी आशा चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा, दिल है छोटा सा छोटी सी आशा, महक जाऊं मैं. I think I'm better without the track and without all the technical glitches that is happening. So, sorry for the not so good performance, but I'll sing without the track now. महक जाऊं मैं आज तो ऐसे फूल बगिया में महके हैं जैसे बादलों की मैं और चुनरिया, झूम जाऊं मैं बन के बावरिया अपनी चोटी में बांध लो दुनिया, दिल है छोटा सा छोटी सी आशा मस्ती भरे मन की, भोली सी आशा, स्वर्ग सी धरती खिल रही ऐसे, मेरा मन भी तो खिल रहा वैसे, कोयल की तरह गाने कारवां, बिजली की तरह बचने मनवा, जवानी है आई रंगीन सपना, दिल है छोटा सा छोटी सी आशा मस्ती भरे मन की, भोली सी आशा. I would like the audience to join me. It's a very popular song. So, दिल है छोटा सा, please sing along. मस्ती भरे मन की, भोली सी आशा, please sing along. चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा, दिल है छोटा सा छोटी सी आशा.
Thank you, Dr. Polony, for this beautifully sung piece. You truly uplifted everyone's spirits.
Mike.
Am I not audible? You truly uplifted everyone's spirit here with this Choti Si Asha. Today's celebration made me reminisce Mahadevi's Varma's poetry, which is related to empowering women. मैं शिखरों को चूमने निकली, हर बंधन को तोड़ने निकली, अबला नहीं मैं शक्ति हूँ, नई रोशनी से जुड़ने निकली. These lines are a raw look at how the women never diminished the fire within her. And with these words, we now again immerse ourselves in a soulful song, a song that stirs the heart, evokes the emotions, and lingers long after the melody fades. And so we have here with us Kshitij, who wants to have a lasting imprint on us through a song. Please welcome him with a lots of cheers.
Hello to everyone present here and a happy Women's Day to all of you, men and women irrespective of that. आज आप सबके सामने मैं सफर फिल्म का इंदिवर जी के द्वारा लिखा हुआ गाना, कल्याण जी आनंद जी द्वारा म्यूजिक डायरेक्शन
किया हुआ और किशोर जी के द्वारा गाया हुआ एक बहुत ही बढ़िया गाना आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करने की कोशिश करूंगा, जिसमें अगर कहा जाए तो how a lady, a girl is portrayed by a man. So in a way I'm just portraying that in front of you. So I do not have any tracks, so I hope you bear with me. जीवन से भरी तेरी आँखें मजबूर करे जीने के लिए सागर भी तरसते रहते हैं तेरे रूप का रस पीने के लिए जीवन से भरी तेरी आँखें तस्वीर बनाए क्या कोई लिखे तुझ पे कविता रंगों छंदों में समाएगी किस तरह से इतनी सुंदरता एक धड़कन है तू दिल के लिए एक जान है तू जीने के लिए जीवन से भरी तेरी आँखें मधुबन की सुगंध है सांसों में बाहों में कमल की कोमलता किरणों का तेज है चेहरे पे हिरनों सी है तुझ में चंचलता आंचल का तेरे है तार बहुत कोई चाक जिगर सीने के लिए जीवन से भरी तेरी आँखें मजबूर करे जीने के लिए सागर भी तरसते रहते हैं तेरे रूप का रस पीने के लिए जीवन से भरी तेरी आँखें
Now it's time to shift gears again and embrace the rhythm of celebration with a captivating dance performance. Please gear up for an enthralling dance piece by the staffs of HBNI. Please give them a huge round of applause.
आई तुझ्या
Thank you so much. It was a very beautiful performance with a great display of colors. Now as we near the conclusion of our celebration, let us celebrate the energy one last time with a mesmerizing dance performance. Let the rhythm, grace and spirit of this final act leave us all inspired. Presenting to you, DNC Group with their spectacular dance performance. Please give them a big round of applause. performance. I am sure all our hearts danced with their steps. Each performance presented today by these talented ladies brought to life the essence of art and expression. And it reminds me, अब ना रुकेगा ये परिवर्तन, अब ना थमेगी ये लड़ाई। सदियों से जो दूर खड़ी थी, अब बढ़कर लूंगी मैं भी भागीदारी। ना कोई जंजीर रहेगी, ना कोई बेड़ी बांध सकेगी। मैं ही सूरज, मैं ही आकाश, अब दुनिया मुझको पहचान सकेगी। So let us take a moment to appreciate the incredible talent and dedication of these remarkable performers. I now invite Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean HBNI, to present mementos to our cultural program participants as a token of our heartfelt appreciation. I'll be calling the names of the participants one by one. Please come and take the memento and get clicked a picture. The first one is Dr. Paulami Mukherjee, SOG, BRC.
I saw Doordarshan in 1978.
Next are the HBNI staff members, Srimati Leena, Srimati Ranjana, Srimati Meenakshi. Leena. Srimati Ranjana. Next is Srimati Meenakshi.
Please there. Please. Yes, ma'am. Nobody should go without high tea. Lady, just another.
Now I welcome the PMC group members, Miss Asmita,
Yeah.
Asmita Panchal,
Thank you.
Miss Shruti Ramdeke,
Thank you.
Miss Tina Varghese, Miss Kanvesha Nayak, Miss Akshaya, Miss Nevita, Miss Dakshita, Miss Veda, Miss Shilpa, next is Miss Smita Tendulkar, Miss Smita Deokar, Miss Sudita, Miss Sinat Chindo, Miss Reshma Jadhav,
So, usually I request the viewers to give Tanya, who has helped us in this function. I would like to give a token of love to Deepak program. Thank you so much.
Officiating Registrar and Associate Dean HBNI to grace with his concluding remarks for the event. Please, sir.
Thank you, Tanya. I know that it has been a long time and many of you have come from office and spared your valuable time without taking much time. It's my pleasant duty that after such a wonderful afternoon, I should propose a vote of thanks. On behalf of myself and my colleagues in HBNI, I thank both the guest speakers from the core of my heart for their inspiring talks. I thank Advocate Ms. Sandhya Vasudevan Sondi for her talk on prevention of sexual harassment policy. It was such a wonderful talk, madam. We would like to hear more from you in future also. My heartfelt thanks to Professor Mrs. Aparajita Chattopadhyay for sensitizing on and bringing to fore the pertinent gender issues. You talked so nicely, madam, from the micro to the macro, how at the macro level the things are taking steps from the micro level. Thank you, madam, for your wonderful talk, and definitely we would like to hear from you also in future also, and I am sure that both of you will give us the opportunity. I thank Dr. Shobha Nair for sparing her valuable time for panel discussion and to be here with us on this occasion. I have seen her motivating and scientific perspectives during COVID period also. We used to interact on WhatsApp groups a lot. And once again, madam, thank you very much. My heartfelt thanks to Professor Dr. Umasankari Kannan for being part of the panel discussion and for being here with us. I also put on record my thanks for the women's cell. Professor Aradhana Srivastava, Chairperson, thank you, madam, for steering this program from the since inception to finalization of the speakers and everybody. I thank Professor Ms. Swati Ingole, State Foundation. Thank you, madam. You have been so generous with us and so kind to be part of this women's cell. And whenever we needed you, you were always there. In fact, both of the speakers, they were introduced by madam to us. Thank you, madam, for helping us, and in future also, this year we would like to conduct many more programs on this women and gender issues. I thank Dr. Deepanita Datta. We have already seen how much hard work she has put in organizing all the cultural programs and all the events. I thank Ms. Gomti Iyer, who is our member secretary for the Women's Cell. Thank you, madam. I offer my sincere thanks to Professor A.K. Tyagi for chairing today's function and for enlightening us with his inspiring words. Sir has always been a strength of pillar for us. Wherever, whenever we have needed him, he was always there. He finalized the programs and he gave his kind approval. Thank you very much, sir. I would also like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor U. Kamachi Mudri, though he is not there today, but he has also guided us for this program and given his kind consent. I thank Professor P.D. Nayak, former Dean HBNI. Thank you, sir, for being with us for this evening, for sparing your valuable time and for doing the honors. Thank you, sir. I thank Professor Rachana Agarwal, who organized or who conducted, who was basically the coordinator for this poster competition. I also thank Sri Suresh Nair, Deputy Registrar HBNI, Ms. Kiranjit Kaur Khalsa, my fellow associate deans and sports staff, Madhumita Goswami. Last but not the least, I thank all the student participants for their wonderful performances from TMC, from HBNI Central Office, and I congratulate all the participants for this poster competition, the winners of the poster competition, those present in this hall, the members who have traveled all the way from BARC. Thank you all the HBNI faculty members for being with us on this day. And last but not the least, I thank, of course I have forgot Ms. Tanya Singh, the anchor of the today's function, for conducting the today's program so nicely and so smoothly. Last but not the least, I thank the IT team HBNI and the IT team for this multi-purpose hall also, for their providing all the technical support. I know despite these glitches, many times they are the most tense people when our system doesn't work. We want it to be perfect, but then we know how much time it takes, and many times the electromagnetic interference that is not visible to us, how havoc this can play. But thanks for managing it so well. And last but not the least, if I have missed anybody, I would like to thank everybody who has directly and indirectly contributed to the success of this program, including the administrative staff of HBNI, whosoever has contributed. Thank you very much once again, one and all. And now we will go for the national anthem. Please join us for the national anthem. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I request